Hello. Welcome, welcome. I have been in this sort of transitionary phase as a yoga teacher. And it's interesting how, as I was walking through the forest yesterday, I had this reminder: remember where you came from and go back to your roots. And I wonder sometimes, have you ever seen a tree that has grown so quickly that it loses its stability because the root structure hasn't spread out, or maybe isn't deep enough to fully sustain the tree? And sometimes I believe that as humans, we can be on this journey of desire to expand and to grow at such a rate that spreads us a little bit thin. And I know a lot of my friends who are parents, who went through the period of isolation over the last couple of years, who were working and doing so much and feeling so alone, feeling so worn out. And a lot of them gave up their self-care practices. And the ones who stayed with it have this new way of showing up where they're constantly getting interrupted because they're right there. They're not leaving their homes to go to a physical space where they get to be in community, where they get to allow themselves to replenish and to regenerate in community and be seen for the other aspects of who they are, beyond the caregiver, beyond the employee, beyond the business owner, beyond the guide, the teacher, whatever other roles that we take on, and allow themselves to be in that space of being human, of being real and vulnerable and authentic, and allow the space for healing. And so I have been dancing with the idea of coming back to in-person classes because, I mean, some of my regulars miss class all the time because their priorities, their family, pull them away from the sessions that they've even paid for, and they just forget to show up. But if you had a schedule and a place to go, would you forget? I wonder. So I've been toying with the idea of starting to offer some in-person sessions. And the first one that is tickling my heart is the Yin Nidra series. And I used to offer those monthly as like a 2-hour session where we dive into yummy, stretchy yin and invite our breath to open and expand our fascia. And then allow this deep rest through Yoga Nidra, where it all integrates on a cellular level. And if that's something that you are interested in, I will love to hear from you. So I'll put my email below and you can message me if you desire. If you have questions, those are welcome as well. And then just yesterday, the forest reminded me about this concept that came to me a few years ago of YINdalini. Some people are still, what's the word? resistant to or intimidated by the practice of Kundalini Yoga, it does open us up. It does bring things up within us. And I respect that some people are would much rather continue in the way that they already are without diving deep into those crevices within them. And they know that it's available to them if they ever change their minds. But this fusion, this concept of YINdalini, is sort of like Kundalini light. And it came to me because as having a background in martial arts, that's what drew me to Yin in the first place, because I needed to slow down and breathe and find a deeper way to stretch my body, because I was building so much tension. I had really tight, strong muscles, and my connective tissue was feeling constricted. And although my body looked a lot leaner back then, it wasn't flowing as well. And there were other issues because of that. And now that I'm focusing on Kundalini Yoga, I'm actually less drawn to practices like Yin and Yoga Nidra, because the aspects of me that were on overdrive and overwhelmed before have all dissipated from my life. And then I remember what it was like when I was that person who worked so many hours, who had such a busy lifestyle, who rarely had time and space to be with myself. And what I craved more than anything was allowing myself to be fully present with my body, with my breath, and explore meditation in a way that engaged all the parts of me, so that my mind was less able to distract me and take me out of the experience. Because back then I was often in this place of what's next, and you have to do this, and don't forget about that. And now that my life has slowed down, sometimes I take for granted this life that I've created, where I basically live in a meditative state. And going to market or maybe like other stores is like the extent of the busyness that shows up for me. And I get that we all have different ways of seeing life, and we're all at different stages on the journey. And I'm being very long-winded about explaining this. But YINdalini is like a bridge that invites you into the groundedness, the presence with your breath, and meditation that arises through the lens of Kundalini without all of the intensity. Because some people really don't enjoy how much breath of fire that we do, or the quick movements that we repeat for like 11 minutes, and the body's like, I don't want to do this anymore. This is too much. All the mental chatter that comes up when we engage with ourselves in that way, which actually has therapeutic benefit, but some of us aren't ready for that channel yet. And so YINdalini is a bridge for you if you are interested in a practice that's more grounding, more meditative, and centering, and the softness of yin and the feminine. And this will be offered in the evenings rather than the mornings. So it's less of an energizing practice, more restorative. And this is going to be a 6-week series. So it starts this Thursday, April 28th, and the last session is June 2nd. So it's 6 consecutive Thursdays, and I'll put the details in the description box below for you. And if this is something that has you interested, of course, your questions are always welcome. And to register, you can email me. And otherwise, thanks so much for being here. If there's anything else that you would love to receive through me, I love to hear about your needs, your desires. Yeah, reach out. This is how community is built. When we're intimate, when we're open with each other, it allows us to feel a deeper sense of connection with ourselves and with others. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being you. And as always, thanks for being human. Mwah. All of the love.